The town of Hot Wheeling was in trouble, and it was me and the gang's job to save it by defending the city from the attacking monsters. Now, I've never driven a Hot Wheels car before. Such power, such grace. But they were that desperate that they needed to teach me how to drive them, and thus I became the rookie. I had a crappy car though, so I decided to try a quick little gamble and spun the big wheel in hopes to get a better one. Instead, I got a free upgrade for one of my cars in the future, if I ever found a good one. It was now time to go on my first mission. It was a basic street race to get the intel and the whereabouts of the first monster. Somehow they were all hidden. Mid-race though, I lost control and span out a bit, since I was still a rookie. But I was able to win the match and complete the mission, and then my crew informed me that I'd leveled up and begun my journey well. I found out I had to survive an elimination race in order to get to the secret code and fight the secret boss. I used all my acrobatics to win first place and found out there was a giant octopus trying to take down the first part of the city, and I had to stop him. The monsters got these powers from little health discs conveniently placed on a racetrack, so all I had to do was smash into them and the beast would be taken down. So with that, the octopus was taken down, but it's not over yet. After defeating the octopus, the crew gave me some money to go buy a better car from the shop, now that the owner could return to work. Then the shop owner challenged me to win 2 more races for some info on the next boss. So back to the races it was for me. And I used the new car he just sold me, as I hadn't tried that type of vehicle yet. It drove so smooth, but that also completed his little challenge he gave me, which proved I was in charge here. So he gave me a location of the Scorpion. So here I was, face to face with a big old Stinger Man. But again, these were a small fry in the grand scheme of things, and I knew I had to beat him quickly to have any chance of saving the city. So I took him down the same way as the other one, and he gave me a message to everyone in town to please subscribe and like for whatever reason. No idea what that meant, but at least he was defeated. I spent the next few days in times of peace, competing in all different types of races, in hopes that someone would have info on when the next enemy was heading, or where I could find them. All while proving to everyone in the world it was me you had to beat. It didn't matter what type of race I was in, I was going to win and show them all I was the greatest in the world. The reason this one was so hard to find is because it could fly. It was the giant bird of prey, a villain from the olden times, a pterodactyl. This thing was a little harder to take down, so I knew I was getting close to the ringleader of this little invasion. And it wouldn't be long till I was face to face with the final boss. But I took down the pterodactyl and was back to gathering more intel. It was time to use my upgrades on the car that I found that I was using the most. I felt like I needed a little more power, a little more speed, a little bit more drifting. So I upgraded it time and time again to get the absolute best I could out of this car. Once I created the perfect vehicle, it was time to take on the next boss. Next up was the Yeti. Now, this guy found me and tried to catch me off guard, but I knew my supercar was ready for him. He used all the tactics he could to try and stop me, slowing me down, making the floor slippery, all of it. But my car melted him down, and now I knew I was one boss away from saving the city. But what would it be? Didn't know what was needed to beat this final boss, so I went and got a tank, because you never know when you need a goddamn tank. And then I bought a motorbike that looked a little bit like the Ghost Rider's motorbike. I figured that would come in handy somehow. Then I upgraded a few more cars, so no matter what the conditions were, I had a good car to use. I was also gifted a secret vehicle of a van. I did appreciate the gift, but I had a tank, so what's a van going to do here? I was also given a tractor, but it was a crappy one, and it was slow, so I decided to build my own track and deal with it the best way I thought I could, so I'd never have to worry about it again. In hopes to locate the final boss, I raced people from all over the world. Didn't get much info, but I did manage to get an international license. Not sure why, but it proves to the crew that I was ready to be the best racer in the world, and that I was climbing the ranks quicker than they'd ever imagined. Just bringing in more money than possible, so when the town was saved, we knew we could help the city rebuild by helping them out financially. So the city of Hot Wheeling would strive again. It was time to really knuckle down and win some races, to get some info, but turns out not a lot of people knew where this big baddie was. So I kept winning and winning and winning, eventually becoming even greater drifter than I thought I could possibly become. And now no course could hold me back. No turn was too sharp for the drifter teacher. I could do 180-degree turns, no issues. I was on top of the world over here. And after beating some of the toughest races in the city under extreme conditions, I found out that the answer to the final boss was online. So I did some research and found out where it could possibly be and where I had to go to find it and what I was up against. And I was not expecting this at all. It was basically a giant one of those mousetrap things from the Ninja Turtles that Back to Stocksman created. The ultimate apex predator. But I'd seen enough Ninja Turtles to know exactly how to beat this thing and save the world from ultimate destruction. So, I took down all its health bars and there it was, exploding in front of me. And that's how Hot William was saved by me and my little crew. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time when I save some dragons from a big old nasty guy. Bye.